Hey guys, what's up, and welcome to another Just the Facts with Gamerdude. Today I'm going to be talking about Timesplitters. Now, not many people actually know what Timesplitters is. I talked to some people about it, and they're like, "What?" And I just look at them in shock and awe that they don't actually realize what this incredible franchise is. So in light of this, I figured it would be a good idea to actually talk a little about the game before we get into the general facts about its potential return. So first of all, what is Timesplitters? Originally, it was released in the year 2000. This will be followed by two more games. All three Timesplitters games were first-person action shooter games, which saw you travelling through time in a story spanning several centuries. I think the last one ended in 2401, so the 24th century, which was cool. In a story mode spanning several centuries in an effort to stop an alien race known as the Timesplitters, hence the name Timesplitters. So you go from wreaking havoc on humanity and time itself. So as many of you know, I'm not a fan of first-person games. I make that clear in most of my videos. However, Timesplitters has a special exception in this case, as it was one of the first real game series I followed and enjoyed, and played each one to their conclusion. With diverse maps and storylines in each mission and characters that were just absolutely hilarious, I quickly fell in love with the game. Well, the game's franchise, that is. So originally it was developed by Free Radical Designs and later became part of EA Games. Big mistake there, of course. We all know what EA Games is like. The final game in the series was Timesplitters Future Perfect in 2005, which had EA Games as the head of the development team for that game. Aside from that, it seemed as though the story was wrapped up nicely after that game had finished, given its ending. However, this wasn't enough for fans. Fans were hoping, with the next generation of consoles, so the PS3 at the time, another game in the series would have been released featuring maybe online co-op mode, a simple arcade mode, or even just a new story in general. Even if it featured a completely different cast, nobody would have been bothered. However, that wasn't the case, and it just simply died, and it just got buried and forgotten about. As I said, a lot of people don't actually know what the Timesplitters franchise is. And of course, because it's a PS2 game, I can't actually show footage of it, down to the fact that a new company has purchased the rights. I'll get into detail on that later. So I'm really worried if I did post any footage on it, I'd get copyrighted like a bitch for it. So, I'm already in enough trouble with YouTube. I don't fancy doing that. Now, Koch Media announced it has acquired the rights to the title. The German media giant, parent company of Dead Island developer Deep Silver, has already hinted that a new Timesplitters game may be in the works. So anyway, now that's out of the way and I've given you a bit of a background into Timesplitters, let's get down to business and talk facts. So, a message from the team that has purchased the rights to the game released the following statement in 2016. "We are hugely excited to have acquired the rights to Timesplitters," said Koch Media Chief Executive Clemens Kundratitz. I'm just not even going to bother trying to pronounce that correctly. The original game gave fans a massive content offer and provided a pure and genuinely fun arcade shooter experience. "We have many fans of the Timesplitters series among our own staff who are passionate about creating a product that will thrill today's gaming audience." So the fact that they have fans of the series within their own staff may indicate that either they have some of the original developers back from the original series of games, that or so much time has passed, in fact almost 15 years since the last game, tells us that so much time has elapsed that it's now the descendants, children of a new era, that have grown up and parents have shown them the greatness of these games, and they've gone into gaming as a career later in their lives. So it's a descendant thing now. It's been passed on to generations, and they're saying, well, here's this game series. I was a developer for this, and now that kid's grown up and they've gone into the business. Maybe, I don't know. So, as I said, the third and final entry into the series, Timesplitters Future Perfect, arrived on the PS2 in 2005. However, unfortunately, cries for a sequel were met with tears due to Free Radical Design going bust 3 years later, before being acquired by Crysis developer Crytek, based in the UK. Which is extremely unfortunate, as yet again another gaming company that produced amazing games went bust before its time. I say this because only 9 years later, as we all know, the amazing Telltale Games series, Telltale Games Company, would also go bust after releasing so many amazing games in their series. But anyway, that's a story for another day. We're here to discuss something else. Moving on. So, although the game studio was saved after a buyout, I wouldn't say saved because they haven't really released anything since, but yeah, let's just go with that. The Timesplitters franchise has remained sort of on the back burner, on the shelf, really. It's just been left and forgotten. Until now, that is. The announcement that Koch Media has bought the Timesplitters IP, or intellectual property, has fueled hopes of a sort of revival of the title, which saw massive popularity in the early 2000s. Thanks to its humour, artistic style, and cheesy pop culture references. And they were cheeky. They most definitely were cheeky when it came to those pop culture references. I mean, it was crazy, the pop culture references in those games. I actually remember a certain mission where you came across a young girl, maybe 18, 19, and your character Cortez, that's the lead character, he's about 40 plus years old. And this is kind of creepy, but it's still on the ladder. They're trying to break into an old house. Later on, it's found to be infested with creatures and zombies. A cutscene later in this mission has the lead character Cortez and this young girl climbing down a ladder. They hear a creepy ass noise. They're both looking down it. And she says to Cortez, "You go first." He looks down at her and back up at her face and just casually goes, "Okay." It's like, no fucks given. I'm just going to be like, okay. So that was a bit like out of there for the references and the sort of cheesy lines they would come up with, but that's just only one example. So, and that was just like crazy and totally a reference to how kids dressed in the 90s, given that's when the mission was actually set. 1994 to be exact, that mission was set, which was really cool, because that's actually the year I was born, so why not? But after 13 years, I can definitely tell you all that I am super excited for the game's return. Even if we just get a remaster of the series, that would be enough for me. But at the moment, we have no idea if they will remaster it or just go back to the drawing board and start from scratch. All we do know is that the franchise is most definitely returning. So on top of the main campaign, each game offers a map maker, multiplayer arcade, and a challenge mode. The map maker was always fun. If you got bored of the main story, if you'd done absolutely everything, you could just create your own map, get your mates sat next to you. It even had online play, very early online play, but it still had online play. I think back then it was called netplay. And if you created these maps, you could share them, play them with your friends, play them with randoms, and it was really quite fun. Even in the early stages of online gaming, it was really fun. I would love to see that make a return. So the original Timesplitters developer Steve Ellis revealed that there was no chance we would be seeing Timesplitters 4 on PS4 or Xbox One, as the series proved too difficult to market in the modern gaming community. Most likely due to the fact there's no opportunity for microtransactions or extra monetizing options in the franchise. Crytek eventually shut down in 2014, and the majority of the staff were moved to Dambuster Studios, another company which unfortunately shut down before its time. Anyway, this hammered the final nail in the coffin of a potential Timesplitters 4 title. Until now. So, what about the fan-made Timesplitters Rewind game? I don't know if any of you have heard about this, but Timesplitters Rewind is a fan-made project that was supposed to be released for PC. A few years ago we heard about a couple of fans making a similar Timesplitters project called Timesplitters Rewind. It is fan-made and Crytek blessed, so the sort of the original developers of the game have said yes to it, so there'd be no copyright issues for anyone to make that. So the project, which had been 6 years in the making, aimed to essentially create a new Timesplitters, a Timesplitters 4. According to project lead Michael Hubiker, or Hubiker I think it's pronounced, the game combines the earlier elements of the trilogy. However, with Koch Media acquiring the rights to Timesplitters, it's now uncertain whether the fan-made game can continue development. Because before there weren't any issues with copyright, but now I'm guessing there will be those issues with copyright due to the fact that a new company now owns the rights to the IP. The creators have obviously reached out to Koch Media for comment, however they have remained silent for the last 2 years. With all of that being the case, it's unclear where the future of the project is actually going. However, as I've said, what we do know is that it is most definitely returning, and return with a vengeance it shall. Excited for the franchise's return. As a fan of the series, I would love to see a new game in the series, even a remaster will do. However, I would prefer a new game in the series with some open world capabilities, maybe even some co-op opportunities like the original franchise had. I mean, if it has online, fair enough, but I would love to have someone sat next to me and hold a controller and actually play the two-player mode in that respect. As many of you know, I'm not much of a fan of online gaming either. I believe it's killing the gaming industry and that development teams are becoming lazy when it comes to programming an actual story into games these days, due to there being more money in online gaming due to microtransactions and DLCs and paid for DLCs and whatnot. So, with all that being said, all I can tell you for sure is the franchise is definitely, most definitely returning. I would have loved to have dropped some gameplay from the original game. However, I'm just too frightened that even if I'd popped a screenshot in, I would get copyrighted like a bitch by Koch Media. And I don't want that to happen because, you know, I'm in enough trouble with YouTube as it is, guys. I really am in enough trouble with YouTube right now. So let me know in the comments what you guys think. If you know what Timesplitters is, please tell me you know what Timesplitters is. I really don't want to have to explain it in the comments to everyone that's like, the fuck is Timesplitters? Just Google it. Google it. Watch some gameplay on YouTube. I'm sure there's some out there from PlayStation Now. But it was an amazing title. It was absolutely epic in every single way. It's one of those games where you feel like, I don't want this to end. I want something more from this. It's like the Uncharted series. There's so much potential for another Uncharted game, and we just haven't got it. And it's the same with Timesplitters. There's so much potential for another game, and we just haven't got it. Even though, yeah, the third game ended with the Timesplitters defeat. Spoilers there, by the way, guys. Although it shouldn't really be a spoiler, considering Future Perfect came out in 2005. So come on, you gotta know by now. You gotta know it. But yeah, with that being said, all I can tell you is that it is coming back. Koch Media have confirmed it's coming back. They are probably, as we speak now, working on a title for the game. I mean, the fact that they've said that it probably wouldn't be released on PS4 or Xbox One may tell us that it's either coming out towards the end of the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One's life, or it could be a title for the new generation of consoles, which I am certain will be coming rather soon. Anyway, guys, that's all the information I have regarding the Timesplitters franchise. Let me know in the comments what you think. Really do appreciate your support, so thanks for stopping by. Shout out to all subscribers, old and new. Really do appreciate the love and support through this 90-day streaming ban. Without you guys, I really wouldn't have continued the channel. I'm also going to do a shout out video once we reach the 800 mark. So we are now at 795 subscribers, so only 5 away. So thank you all for your support. Stay tuned next week because I'll be doing another Just the Facts with Gamerdude. I have a lot of ideas for these videos, so if you enjoy them, do let me know, drop me a like. If you're new to the channel, don't hesitate to hit the subscribe button. Always sub back to new subscribers and view any content that you may be producing. So yeah, until next time, this has been Gamerdude and Just the Facts with Gamerdude. Happy gaming, and I will catch you all real soon.